Hi, I'm Thomas Lamb. I'm CEO of Myriad Uranium Corp. We have a very exciting project in Wyoming, in central Wyoming. It's called Copper Mountain. And we have a second project in New Mexico called Red Basin. Copper Mountain project has big historical resources with big upside on top of that. And New Mexico has a very nice historical resource, also with upside.
Mr. Lamb, how are you, sir?
Fine. It's good to be here in London.
It's the end of the day. We can do this. Whew. That's a lot of meetings, a lot of conversations.
Yeah, it's been a busy day here.
We can do this.
WNA, yeah.
Sell. Obviously in your lanyards over there, it says you've been walking around, talking to people. What does a early stage exploration company like you need to find out from a conference like this?
Yeah, the conference itself is focused on the nuclear power plants and the conversion and enrichment largely. But a lot of key people are here. Microsoft is here, that's interesting. Amazon Web Services, some of the bigger uranium producers and explorers that are interested in companies like ours. We're connecting and everybody wants to talk to us. We have I'll jump right to it. A year ago, everybody was saying, what about in situ recovery projects? Yours, the northern half of our Copper Mountain project is fractured granite, basement rock, and probably conventional. The mining will be conventional with a heap leach. And the southern half, hopefully in situ recovery. We're thinking, well, is this a disadvantage? Now everybody's talking about conventional mining of uranium. In situ is, so we're getting a ton of attention. It's pretty interesting.
I think you're referencing some of the hiccups that have happened in the last 12 months with some ISR projects.
It's true. People are struggling, and Peninsula to, as an example, but there are a number of others, right? And Kazatomprom, obviously others. So it's ISR is tougher, and where are the experts? And they're hard to find, and ISR is complex, more complex than people maybe thought.
So conventional is king.
All of a sudden,
let's get our own banner going.
I mentioned just before we started that I was in Toronto 6 weeks ago. We were meeting with fund managers. People are very interested in Myriad, but one came in and said, "This is fantastic. You have a conventional project. I'm done with ISR." I was pretty surprised. I thought that was really interesting. So we're getting a lot of.
Doesn't take much, does it? Little things just kind of spook people.
Absolutely.
They love uranium, but they don't want the problems.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so you got conventional. So as you said, you've got a couple of projects. Yeah. You also got a potential option partner coming together with a potential option partner as well. So there's a few things going on with you. Where do you want to start? What's important?
Well, if you don't mind, I'll remind everybody that our Copper Mountain project in Wyoming has historical resources of 15 to 30 million pounds. That was going to be the starter resource for a large-scale conventional uranium mine. And around that core, we call it about 15 prospects. And advancing those, they each saw between 15 and 20, maybe 5 and 20 boreholes in the 1970s. If those get advanced, we maybe have 65 million pounds. U.S. Department of Energy said 200 million pounds. 1983, they said Copper Mountain might have 200 million pounds. Copper Mountain project, we own it with a company called Rush Rare Metals. And what you're referring to is that we've announced our intention to merge with Rush Rare Metals. And, that's going to be great. We're going to have 100% ownership of the project. And,
so they understand. So in which case, let's stick with Copper Mountain. Then you're kind of reinterpreting some data using a slightly different way of trying to understand how much uranium is in there. Right. So remind us about that bit and where you're at.
Okay. So again, I've got that out there. Historically, the historical resources are there at Copper Mountain. In the 1970s. Union Pacific Railway, through its subsidiary, drilled 2,000 boreholes, estimated these resources and the potential. But they did that using a DFN probe. This is a Delayed Fission Neutron probe that measures radioactivity emitted by uranium and its daughter products. We drilled 34 holes last year. and we used a gamma probe, which photon emission, and we've got probes have changed. We've got higher sensitivity probably and more advanced technology. We got much better results than the historical results. But we sent everything to the laboratory for assay, and we got way higher results. There's much more, so I guess the bottom line is there's a lot more uranium at Copper Mountain than anybody thought. Than we thought last year, and much more than they thought in the 1970s.
Right. So
very exciting.
So what it is very exciting because I think like we talked about last time, it potentially significantly increases what you thought you have there from the historic holes.
Yeah.
And the way that you've been measuring your own holes recently. So
Yeah.
what's the end game here? Because you can like drill,
Mm-hmm.
to what end? Or you can say, well, if we can prove that we do have 65, 200,
Yeah.
whatever, then it's kind of game changer in terms of pure scale of this goddamn thing.
Absolutely.
So how do you go about doing that?
Well, if we want, and if it pays for itself in the market, we can raise money and drill out the 30 million pounds, the 65 million pounds, and so on. We could also, to be more efficient, we could raise a smaller amount of money, drill some of the pounds in the core area, and also drill the prospects and put some holes in these prospects. It would verify the historic work, not necessarily take it up to current resource, but that's possible. But if we verify the historic drilling, then that validates it. And the historic work was done, it was top-notch experts at the time. So that might be a strategy, like an in-between strategy. If the markets are not hot and it would be dilutive to raise a huge amount of money and drill, we could raise a smaller amount of money and drill the prospects and some of the core. That way we'd get good validation, wouldn't necessarily be an indicated resource under 43-101 at this point.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you got to be careful about how you spend money. Is what I'm working towards, and I mentioned where you go and spend that because you got this New Mexico project too, which kind of looks kind of interesting to me. It's where people want to be. Yeah. It feels like certainly getting a lot of positive vibes this week on that topic. So again, remind us what you got.
Oh, well, okay. Well, New Mexico looks. We're very, very pleased with New Mexico. I just want to mention at Copper Mountain, the prospects that we could drill have very exciting historical boreholes, and we want to bring that alive for people. So, one of the prospects is called Lucky Cliff, for example. It had 85 feet of 1,200 ppm as a historical hole, and that was an equivalent grade with this disequilibrium issue, which is where we assay, we get higher grades. I think we go back and drill that, and that would be most exciting intercept in Wyoming.
Okay. Let's stick with Copper. No, fair point. Let's stick with Copper Mountain because I was going to ask about like infill. What is the smartest way to prove up that actually the historic grades aren't accurate? Do you need to go and do some infill drilling, come back with a different set of, measure it with the updated gamma probe,
right,
and assay it and say, well, actually, what we're finding is on our infills, the holes are 60% higher than the historic data suggests.
Yes.
We think we've probably got something bigger going on here. In which case, is that the biggest thing and the most substantial thing that you could do to get the attention of the market?
We think a combination is the best approach. So we have historic grade shells. We have our model from the 1970s information. Then we have what it looks like now to us because of the new information. And if we just add some holes to that in this central pit, then I think we get a really big leverage from doing that. But that's only a few drill holes, so it's not some massive infill program.
Well, like
5 or 8 or something like that.
You go, those 8 show that we're 60% higher than what we thought historically. Yeah. Right, and let's go to raise some money because we want to do another 100. And if those 100, it's just stakes. You're not going to just throw money with gay abandon.
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Fine.
So there's work we'll do in the central area, and then we'll also go out to the periphery to the prospects and validate those or verify those. Once we've done that, okay, we may not have 100 million pound current resource, but I think experts who understand the project will have some feeling of comfort, and I think we're very attractive.
That's your flagship. That's
Yep,
number
okay.
one. Numero, I understand the process, and you will. Have you got money to do those 8 holes, say?
So as of a week ago, we had, say, 2.5 million in the bank. We're in reasonable shape. We will probably raise more money to do anything more ambitious than what I've just spoken about. In fact, we have geophysics we want to do both at Copper Mountain and in New Mexico. So you add all of that up, we could do it with existing cash, but we'll see. Maybe we'll be raise a bit more too.
Because of me, if you're talking to me as an investor, sorry, a bit commercial about this one, if you can prove to me that the hypothesis about higher grade works and it directly affects your historic drilling, then one, I'm going to trust your historic drilling a little bit more, because I never really do. And two, I've got a better sense of the uplift. Is it 10% better, 20% better, or 100% better? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we feel like we're already mostly there. This was going to be a large-scale uranium mine, 1983. That was cut short by 3 Mile Island. We've done enough drilling to be really confident about the core area.
Yeah.
We're not 100% because we have a few more areas there that we should drill. So confidence is already very, very high there.
Is the market? Is mine?
The market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they will reward you more if you can just do that early 8-hole thing and just go 8-hole program and say, right, okay, we can tell you definitively, we understand what the uplift is here on the center of the pit. In fact, we may, I don't know, ripple out from the center of the pit, and then we might do the extremities of the pit.
Sure.
Right?
You're right. We there's a little further we can go. We have the historic baseline. It was going to be a large-scale mine at these conservative grades. We've improved on that with our drilling, where we got better results than the historic work. Then we send everything for assay, and anything over 1,000 ppm, we got a 60% boost. Anything over 500 ppm, we got a 50% boost. So these are big boosts. Okay, so we're there. We could do a bit more work, including people who follow us will know that we've actually sent quite a few samples from the drilling from last year to the laboratory to be assayed that, according to the probe, don't show much uranium, but because of disequilibrium may have some significant uranium. That's another level up. So we just keep moving up. We do some more drilling, we'll level up farther. This project that was going to be a large-scale mine just keeps getting better and better. So, with these holes, I think we move up a little bit more.
Because it's that degree of certainty and that degree of indication starts to indicate maybe you can't do it, but maybe people, if they're given information, could have an idea of the scale potential of this thing, even with the grades that you will be able to demonstrate that they might be able to put some really proper numbers around this. We shall see. We shall see.
We're hopeful.
I understand the process better. It was me being slow. I apologize. With New Mexico, obviously, you've got a job to do over here with Copper Mountain, and I don't want you to get distracted or spend too much money elsewhere. But at the same time, New Mexico is just a little bit exciting, isn't it?
Turns out. So we spent 525,000 Canadian to acquire it. Combination of cash and shares. It's worth a big multiple of that now. We realize New Mexico is coming on. There's a lot of money flooding in. It's not just in uranium exploration. It's in conversion, enrichment, and technology. Companies are coming in, VCs, Silicon Valley tech companies are coming in. They also want the uranium itself in New Mexico. So we're going to be seeing some interesting activity there. Yeah.
Would you think some of these downstream companies would look further back upstream in terms of securing, or in part or in whole, uranium projects?
Yes. And
wow,
I know. I think it's going to get interesting in New Mexico. They have their own thing going on. I don't fully understand it, although, so next time we talk, I'll understand it better. But they have a sovereign wealth fund I don't know what else to call it. They have local funds, money that needs to be spent in New Mexico. They have there are technology people who have strong ties to New Mexico. They have the history with the Los Alamos and the great university there, and it's the center of excellence in the nuclear field.
Yeah.
And they want the uranium from there too. It's I think things are going to get quite interesting in New Mexico, and I did not expect this. We acquired this project because we got it really cheap, and there's a lot of uranium near surface that's at quite a high grade. Up to 3,100 ppm. We have 500,000 indicated, 1.5 to 6.5 million pounds inferred. This is historical, non-43-101, but it's 1,000 drill holes, and we thought, okay, well, this is great value, but now it's getting a lot of attention.
Right. And would you, seeing what you've just seen over at Copper Mountain in terms of the way you assay and understand, would you look to do something similar, or is it a different kind of rock type?
It's different rock type. Let's see about that.
Okay.
Hope springs eternal. Wouldn't it be great if the disequilibrium favors us there, but we don't know yet.
So you've got something good, but you're not going to waste too much time and money on that right now?
Correct. We have to do some geophysics.
Okay.
That's mandatory this year, but then we'll wait. We'll get a plan of operations.
See what the market does, see what happens over at Copper Mountain. Okay, fine. Coming back to the kind of detail on Rush, what's the timing? What's the timing on that?
So we announced that we intend to merge with Rush Rare Metals. We probably have another 30 days before we're going to get going on the definitive agreement. That could always be extended. That'll be great. This is truly a 1 + 1 = 3 situation.
What have they got? Talk through that.
Yep, Rush, everybody should take a look at it. Rush Rare Metals, they have the Boxy project in Quebec. That's an older Riva project with really high uranium grades. Now, there's a moratorium in Quebec on uranium, but it's probably going to come off sooner or later. So it's an older Riva project, 11% uranium, I think they had up to, 27% niobium.
Wow.
They have a very nice project there in Boxy. They are the optionors of our Copper Mountain project. Right. So we can earn up to 75% of that. We do have a path to the last 25%. The most efficient thing to do is for us to merge with, or acquire, but merge with Rush. So we'll do that. We'll have 100% ownership of Copper Mountain.
Yeah.
Whoever is an owner of Rush at the time of the merger will get the Boxy project, get an interest in the Boxy project.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Worth taking a look at it.
Yeah, we'll do. I not kind of realised that. And in terms of like management, etc., expertise, what have they got? Who's in there?
They have a good board. They have Pete Smith, the CEO of Rush. He's a superstar leader of public companies. I've known him forever, since law school, actually, and maybe he will join the resulting entity.
Okay.
We'll see about that. We have the technical expertise. We've got Jim Davis, who was Union's general manager in the 1970s. We have George van der Walt. He's our chief geologist. He's fantastic. And then we have the rest of our team. So probably be our technical team and our board. Maybe Pete will join. We'll see who else.
Okay, that'll be good.
It'll be very strong.
Pete's a good guy.
Pete's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
Nobody's fool. Okay, and that makes sense. And I think that more of these things will happen. Because again, I probably said this like once or twice in the past few days, but it kind of feels like there's a bunch of companies that should naturally fit together or better as one, rather than trying to make a go of this individually.
Yeah.
Because as a kind of more of a portfolio approach, it's got to be de-risking the kind of exposure on any one asset. So I kind of like that.
Companies like Myriad and Rush have what the U.S. needs on the U.S. market. So here we are on these small Canadian exchanges. Mm-hmm. We're on the CSE. I think something interesting is going to happen. The U.S., the NASDAQ, NYSE American, they need companies and assets like the ones we have. But we need to be listed in the U.S. to be really effective. I think we'd have a big multiple of our current, be at a multiple of our current value. So I think you're going to see that too.
I like that.
You're going to see consolidation, some mergers, and you're going to see us migrating to U.S. exchanges to be fully valued and get great liquidity. I think this process is.
Yeah, no,
you'll see it.
I can see it working already for some, and I can see it working into the future. The Trump effect whatever you think of the guy, because everyone has to do that, it seems to be working for US domiciled assets, for US companies.
We are in a good spot. I mentioned that we have this Copper Mountain conventional mining. Suddenly everybody is very interested in this. We are in Wyoming, in the center of Wyoming, the best jurisdiction. Watch us sooner or later go to the US and be listed on a big US exchange, and we'll really be on our way. Yeah, this is happening.
Tom, good man. Congratulations. You're sort of moving this thing forward from, you know, like say a box full of papers into an actual real company with a lot of eyes on it. So well done.
Thank you. Yeah, good to see you.